Glad you're here. Looks like everything's working. So, Tuesday, May the 4th, 2021, Portland, Oregon. A water bearer in India had 2 large pots. Each hung on opposite ends of a pole which he carried across his back. One of the pots had a crack in it, and while the other pot was perfect and always delivered a full portion of water at the end of the long walk from the stream to the master's house, the cracked pot arrived only half full. For a full 2 years, this went on daily, with the bearer delivering only 1.5 pots of water to his master's house. Of course, the perfect pot was proud of its accomplishments, perfect to the end for which it was made. But the poor cracked pot was ashamed of its own imperfection, and miserable that it was able to accomplish only half of what it had been made to do. After 2 years of what it perceived to be bitter failure, it spoke to the water bearer one day by the stream. I am ashamed of myself, and I want to apologize to you. Why? Asked the bearer. What are you ashamed of? I have been able for these past 2 years to deliver only half, because this crack in my side causes water to leak out all the way back to your master's house. Because of my flaws, you have to do all this work, and you don't get full value from your efforts, the pot said. The water bearer felt sorry for the old cracked pot, and in his compassion, he said, As we return to the master's house, I want you to notice the beautiful flowers along the path. Indeed, as they went up the hill, the old cracked pot took notice of the sun warming the beautiful wildflowers on the side of the path, and this cheered it some. But at the end of the trail, it still felt bad because it had leaked out half its load, and so again it apologized to the water bearer for its failure. The bearer said to the pot, Did you notice that there were flowers only on your side of the path, but not on the other pot's side? That's because I have always known about your flaw, and I took advantage of it. I planted flower seeds on your side of the path, and every day, while we walk back from the stream, you've watered them. For 2 years, I've been able to pick these beautiful flowers to decorate my master's table. Without you being just the way you are, he would not have this beauty to grace his home. I aspire to love and accept myself exactly as I am in this moment. It's only from really knowing ourselves deeply as we are that we get free. Also, if there's something that we do want to work at evolving along, we need to know where we're starting. So please let us find a comfortable, upright posture. And I invite you to practice this morning, something that on my very first retreat in India, my teacher Goenka did this, I forget, after a certain number of days. He called them vow sittings. We would sit for an hour. And we would vow, we would intend, clearly, I'm not going to move. And it might mean that you sacrifice your coffee, or you sacrifice a scratch, or you sacrifice some freedom of movement to just stop. There's a great relief in creating the boundary that for a little while, this is what I will or won't do. And of course, it's really obviously just a suggestion, but one worthy of trying. Let's remind ourselves of the refuges. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in being awake, curious, knowing what's happening. I take refuge in the Dharma, in the elegant teachings of the Buddha, the map. I take refuge in what's discovered as I practice. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of practitioners, back through time. What if we were to visualize for a moment 120 to 150 or 40 generations, teacher to student, teacher to student. Teacher passes away. Teacher to student. And the lineage passes down, one person to the next. Come, try this. It'll change your life. Teacher to student. And it's not, of course, just the formal teacher to student. It's parent to child, friend to friend. Because every interaction, every encounter has more light in it, more love in it, more compassion in it, more forgiveness. And so we come to sitting firmly, clearly. And we intend to practice with curiosity, with clarity. What's my intention? I intend to be awake. Perhaps I intend to use breathing in and breathing out as my home base, as my point of stability. We cultivate curiosity and the mystery of awareness, mindfulness. And mindfulness illuminates everything without distinction, without prejudice. We also can cultivate concentration, the mind's ability to focus on one thing at a time. Mindfulness reveals when the mind is concentrated or when the mind is not concentrated, when the mind is wandering. And we can develop both mindfulness and concentration. When you discover the mind to be wandering, it's mindfulness. When you come home once again to your chosen training object, breathing in and breathing out, it's concentration. Neither require the tensing of any muscles. They don't require the furrowing of the brow or the tensing of the gut. This is a training of the mind and heart. We attend to the very beginning of the breath, to its rising to fullness, to its decline, to its vanishing. Kindly, gently.